Hi guys, this is Kristin. Welcome back to my channel. I am back today to show you my November budget. And if you've seen one of my budget videos in the past, this is a whole new budget I'm going to show you today. I have redone it because the last time I filmed a budget video on my computer, I felt like it was just kind of all over the place. It worked from my mind since I was the one that had set it up, but I feel like from your perspective, it had to have been confusing and probably kind of hard to follow. So I wanted to make sure that when I film these videos for you, you're actually able to get something out of it and you're actually able to follow along. And I truly want my videos to be helpful for you and offer you some sort of support and encouragement. So I took some time to redo my budget and we are going to debut it today. I hope you'll consider subscribing. I make videos on personal finance, sharing our personal debt journey, and some money saving tips and hacks along the way. So let's get into the video.
This is our November budget, and if you saw I believe September budget was the one that I did on the computer. So if you saw my September budget, you might have noticed, like I mentioned, it was a bit of a mess. I've tried to make this a little bit more streamlined. Instead of having categories all over the screen, I simply have one giant column that lists basically all of our expenses, and then I have some of the extra stuff over here. Okay, so the first thing I did to switch around our budget, and I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work, so November is kind of going to be a little bit of a test month so that I can get a feel for doing it this way, if it makes sense to me. I'm a really visual person, so if visually something isn't making sense to me, it's really hard for me to find it functional. And I wanted to share it with you guys before I perfected it, just to get your feedback. And like I said, I want to make sure the videos are helpful to you guys. So if they're not helpful to you, then I may as well try to move some things around before I get set in my ways on this particular setup. So what I have done now is I've tried to separate everything from this column, first pay, and column second pay. Now, my plan on doing that is really just taking all the money we bring in on the first half of the month, which is one of my husband's paychecks and some of my income and his money that he gets from the VA each month, will all kind of filter in at different times throughout the first 2 weeks of the month. So that's going to be all of our expenses that are covered by the first pay I will have in this column, and then everything that we're going to take out or pay from the second pay, or basically the second half of the month, is going to be in this column, second pay. So that's the basic setup. And the first expense I have listed is holiday expenses. So as you know, we just paid off all our debt about a month and a half ago, and instead of saving for Christmas, we decided to take the Christmas savings we already had and put it on the debt. It just made more sense to get the debt completely out of the way before the holidays. So we are playing catch up a little bit with our Christmas money here. We're not going to have much left over to start building our emergency fund until we get the Christmas expenses out of the way. So the first thing I want to do is from this first pay, I want to take $1,000 out for holiday expenses. And then the second half of the month of November, I will take $250 out. So that gives me $1,250 to put towards the holiday. I decided to budget $2,500. I filled out our holiday budgeting sheets, which you can find in my last video, which is about budgeting for the holidays. I will link that down below. And the holiday budgeting sheets really walks you through setting up a working budget that you can stick to for the holidays so that you can control your spending and make sure you don't go over the top and get into debt. So I decided to budget $2,500 for our whole holiday expenses. That includes New Year's as well. So I'm going to take $1,000 out. Then we give $100 to our church each month. We pay $29 to World Vision, which is an awesome organization. I mentioned that in every one of my budget videos. I'll leave their link down below. We have Stash. That is actually part of my personal money that comes out for investing. We have our cat food and litter delivered each month from Target. That's $25. I decided to try something new. Our mortgage is always at the end of the month. So our first pay, the first half of the month, we have a ton of extra money, and then we're usually a little bit tighter the second half. So I decided what I'm going to start doing is saving this money. I'll likely just save this mortgage in the checking account each pay. And then at the end of the month, I will make the full payment of $1,416. So we'll see how that goes. I also have some notes here in this description column. As you can see, trash, we pay $27, but it's not paid monthly, it's paid quarterly. So the first half of the month here, I'll take this $27 and I'll transfer it to our savings account where it will sit until the trash bill is due. The same thing with water. We pay water quarterly, and I put $50 in the beginning of the month over to savings for that. Our life insurance is billed, my husband's is quarterly and mine is monthly, and that actually is drafted automatically from our savings account, so we transfer that money into savings each month as well. And our auto insurance we pay every 6 months. That is the same thing, transferring $127 over to savings in the beginning of the month to save for our auto insurance, which is due usually around February. Our cell phone, I just pay by electronic check. I'll pay that in the beginning of the month. Our internet is paid in the beginning of the month, same thing. Oh, this electric is actually wrong. Sorry, I just finished setting this up, and I think I screwed up because I was switching some lines around. So electric is actually the second pay, and it's been pretty high. So I'm going to put that at $150. I'm not sure if that's right. And then natural gas, same thing, that comes at the end of the month. That's about usually around $25, and that will increase as it gets cooler, of course. Sewer, we pay $115 a month at the end of the month. Groceries, I just put 2 and 2. We have a $100 budget every single week for groceries for a family of 4, so I just split that in 2. Same thing with gas. We actually pay for our gas on our Visa card all the time. That way we don't have to go into the store. We don't have to worry about carrying extra cash. I don't recommend you do that unless you're good at only using your credit card for certain expenses and paying it off. We pay our credit card off every 2 weeks when my husband's paycheck comes in. So gas, we usually spend about $100 each half of the month. Pet insurance automatically is billed also to our Visa card. That's around $50 for our 2 dogs. That comes out at the end of the month. Our cable comes out in the first half of the month. That's wrong. Our cable is also billed to our Visa towards the end of the month. I'm going to save about $15. We do not buy our dogs dog food every month, so I'm going to save, actually, let's change that. I'm going to save about $10 each half, so $20 a month to put towards our dog food. We go to Sam's and we just get a big giant bag, so it's kind of expensive for a bag, but we don't have to purchase it every month. We're going to save $25 each pay, so a total of $50 for our house maintenance, cash envelope. Same thing for our car maintenance. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see my car just got inspected and needed tires. So that was a $300 bill we weren't expecting, but we had enough money in our car maintenance envelope. So I highly, highly suggest you have a car maintenance cash envelope or sinking fund, whichever works best for you, because that saved our butts. Since winter/6 season is coming, we are going back to saving $15 a pay in our doctor/medicine envelope. Vet care, I just had my pups at the vet last month, and I still have to take my cat to the vet for the year. So I'm going to save $25 each pay and put in our vet care envelope. My husband gets $75 a month for personal money. I get $40 a month because 20 of it is up here in this stash. This is actually my money that I save in a little tiny fun investment account on the side. So I get a total of $60 a month. He gets $75. Our kid commission, I will save $15 a pay or $30 a month, and I take that out from the bank in ones, so I have it to pay my kids every time they do commission chores. Lunch money, I take $10 a pay out, and I put that in our lunch envelope. That is for my husband when he has to go out to eat because he has training days at work, and it's also for my son who gets $10 a month for his school lunch. Otherwise, he packs. Entertainment, we're going to take out $30 a pay. Haircuts for my son and husband, and myself and my daughter, but I cut hours throughout the year. We only go once or twice a year. So this mostly covers my son and my husband for haircuts. And then miscellaneous, we're going to take out $40 each pay. So that gives us a total expenses of $3,018.09 for the first half of the month. If you come over here to our estimated income, I actually have estimated that the first half of the month we're going to have just over $4,000 coming in, and I want to explain that's actually including the pay coming up on October 29th. And the reason I did that is because while technically that pay is coming on a date in October, it's actually covering the whole first half of the November bills. So I decided to just lump that in with the November budget. You obviously have to do whatever works for you and your finances, but I felt like that worked for us. So I hope you can understand that this is really an extra high month income wise because it's technically pulling that October income in as well. So for the first half of the month here, we have this $4,051 that we're estimating to come in. Then I come over here to where it says cash for envelopes, and this section is going to let me know exactly what I need to take out of the bank in cash to fill our envelopes for each paycheck. So what I have is this cell here is actually just totaling all of these over here that are marked envelope on the first pay on the left-hand column. So I will need to take $320 out for cash envelopes for the first pay, and the second pay of the month, unless anything changes, I'll only need $205, and that's because our allowance is only monthly. So I take our allowance out at the beginning of the month so we can have it for the whole month, and then I don't take anything extra out the second half of the month for our allowance. The next thing I want to show you here is our emergency fund. This is our main financial goal right now, is to save up $15,000 in our emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. I will link my video down below where I share all of our goals and plans for baby step 3. This number here represents the money we have left for the month. So these are our expenses. We take our income minus our total expenses for the first half of the month, and whatever's left is going to go into savings for our emergency fund for baby step 3. So it looks like the beginning of the month, you can see we'll have over $1,000, hopefully, to put in our emergency fund, but the second half of the month, it looks like we're only going to have just under $300. So again, that's because I'm pulling in that October income. Otherwise, that number wouldn't be near as high for November. The last thing I want to show you on here is my plan is anytime I pay one of these bills in the month, I'm going to highlight it this color green. That's going to allow me to quickly look at my budget and see what's paid and what might yet be outstanding for the rest of the month. It'll help me in case I accidentally miss any bills that I need to pay. It'll help me just get a quicker snapshot of what's going on in our budget for the month, and that's something I didn't do before and I think is going to be really helpful now. The other thing I want to mention is my husband's income fluctuates, so I estimate it all the time. This is what I have estimated for our income for the pay periods, but what I'm going to do is enter the actual check amounts as they come in throughout the month. So as our income filters in throughout the month and I see the exact amounts, I'll put it here in this actual column, and everything is probably going to shift a little bit. My estimates are usually on the lower side, so what usually comes out that we have a little bit extra money coming in, I estimate on the low side so that I'm not selling us short each month. So I will fill that in and make sure everything recalculates correctly as those incomes come in throughout the month. Sheesh, I really flew through that. I hope I wasn't talking too fast for you guys. So that's our new budget. I still have a couple little things I need to tweak and finalize and just double check that the cells are calculating correctly. Hopefully it works well for us, and hopefully it was easy for you guys to understand as well.
All right, so that was my November budget. I hope you found this format a little more helpful than last time. Let me know your feedback down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on whether this is easier for you to follow. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I hope you'll consider subscribing and ring that bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. I've been posting my videos every Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for all of you early birds out there. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!